Hey guys, what's up? And today I am back with another part to what if Naruto was a generational genius but he was neglected, and this is part 2. So, we left off and when all the teams were set up and Kakashi told them that he would test them the next day. Told Team 7 that he would test them the next day. So I'm not doing a recap anymore because I know you guys don't really like the recap. So we're going to start right. We're going to get started with this part now. So um, I'm going to add one thing that I didn't add in the previous part. Hiruzen was actually severely injured during the Nine Tails attack due to his old age and chakra exhaustion. So, Orochimaru and Danzo gave Hiruzen the drugs that Orochimaru made as well. So, uh, this is why Hiruzen also, hated Naruto, and Danzo gave Hiruzen the drugs because even though he wasn't the Hokage, he was still part of the council and he was still part of the decision making process. So he didn't want to make the leaf, lose its stability. So uh, yeah, and I made this change because one of you actually pointed out that Hiruzen was, not being in character, and you are right. And actually, a few of you pointed this out. So, yeah, because I plan to make Hiruzen and Naruto's family good in the future, uh, I'm going to make this little change here. So, um, let's get started right with this part. Kakashi told the team to meet him in the morning at 6 p.m. sharp. So then Naruto and Sasuke were like, he's going to come late anyways. We might as well make him wait this time. So then um, they woke up late. They ate breakfast and they came to the training ground around 9 a.m. So Kakashi was there waiting for them, and Menma was there as well. So Menma looked furious, and Kakashi was like, wow, "What took you guys so long? You're supposed to be here by 6." And Naruto was like, "As though you came here at 6." And Kakashi was like, "Touche." And Menma was just furious because he wasn't able to time Kakashi like this, and uh, and Sasuke was also chimed in, and she was like, don't you think it's a bit hypocritical of you to expect us to turn up at the time you tell us to when you don't yourself? And Kakashi was like, yeah, that's true. And yeah, so Menma got pretty pissed and that he wasn't able to time Kakashi like this because Kakashi actually came just a few minutes before Naruto and Sasuke did. So, and also Kakashi noticed that Naruto and Sasuke didn't look hungry, so he was like, "So I guess you two saw right through me, huh?" And Naruto was like, "How is a ninja supposed to have chakra and be able to use chakra when he doesn't eat?" And then Kakashi was like, "You're very intelligent, aren't you, Naruto?" And Naruto was like, "Thank you, Kakashi Sensei." And Menma was like really furious at this point because Kakashi didn't really acknowledge him at all, and except like with the high when he reached the field, the training ground, and then he was like so mad that Naruto and Sasuke actually like managed to see through Kakashi's deception and do everything right. So um, Kakashi says that they have till noon to take his bells away from him, and Sasuke actually pointed out that uh, that Kakashi only has two bells and there are three genin. So Kakashi said yeah, that means that one of you is not going to pass. And then all of them were like shocked at because they passed the exam, but Kakashi was putting the second test, and they were like, "But we already passed the exam." And Kakashi was like, "Yeah, but that was just part of the procedure. But for to actually become a genin, you have to pass my exam, and out of the 27 graduates, only one third of them will be passing, which means nine. So you guys only have a 33% chance of passing. And Menma was like shocked at this because you know uh, because uh, he was like, I worked so hard to pass the academy test, but uh, the, but he's saying that he's going to fail me if I don't pass this test. And then Naruto and Sasuke weren't really worried because they already knew that they were the strongest in the class, so it would be stupid to not make them genin. So uh, so basically Kakashi started the test, and Naruto and Sasuke hit together while Menma hit somewhere else. And Naruto was like, Sasuke, there's a trick to this test. Uh, why do you think that all the teams that we've seen in the academy, like um, during the times when they're explaining what shinobi life is like, why do you think that all of them had three genin and one jonin sensei? Why do you think that Kakashi is just is saying that like by the end of this test will be a team of only two genin and one jonin sensei? And Sasuke was like, I don't know. I guess that's just the way his test works. And then Naruto's like, no, I don't think so. He's hiding something. See, you see, with the two bells, I think it's just a distraction. I think his real intention is for us to work for a team and see past, you know, uh, his lie that one of us is going to fail, and help the team as a whole. And Sasuke was like, I didn't look at it that way. That's very smart of you, Naruto. And Naruto was like, yeah, and like he just nodded, and he was like, come on, let's go tell Menma. And Sasuke was like, I thought you hated your brother. And Naruto was like, I don't exactly hate him, but I really don't like him, and but he's still part of the team, so I have to involve him. So when Naruto explained all of this to Menma, Menma was like absolutely, completely disagreeing to work with Naruto and Sasuke, and like he wanted to work with Sasuke, but then since Sasuke was working with Naruto, he didn't want to work with them. So. Uh, Naruto told him about uh, how many like the number of shinobi in a team of three genin and one jonin. So and then Menma kind of considered what Naruto was saying, but then he was like, "You're just lying so that you can trick me later and take my bell away from me." And Naruto was like, "I wouldn't have to do that because you wouldn't get a bell anyways if you're doing this individually. But fine, I guess me and Sasuke are enough." So Naruto Naruto went back to his original hiding spot and said, "Alright, Sasuke, so here's the plan. I've taught you some nice fire release ninjutsu, so use them to affect Kakashi Sensei's vision uh, and impair it due to the high amount of light from the fire. I know that Kakashi would be strong enough to dodge all of your fire attacks, but then if you're able to impair his vision enough, I'll probably be able to use my ninjutsu and taijutsu skills to finish him off and steal the bells." And Sasuke was like, "Yeah, sure, that's a nice plan." And Sasuke ran out and started flinging shuriken at Kakashi, and shuriken hit each other, and Kakashi was like, "Your aim is really bad, Sasuke." And Sasuke just ran around, prepared a fire release ninjutsu, but shuriken glanced off each other and went straight at Kakashi. And Kakashi was like, "No way, he's just like Itachi." Sorry, she's just like Itachi. And you know Kakashi quickly dodged them, but then he came face to face with Sasuke's fire release ninjutsu, and Sasuke was like, "Fire style, fire strike," and Kakashi tried to dodge this, but then his part of his clothes were burned because of that, like singed, and his hair is also kind of singed. So he was like, "Wow, she actually managed to catch me off guard." And then Sasuke was like, "I'm not done." Fire style, great fire wave, and then a huge like wave of fire went towards Kakashi, and Kakashi was like, "Wow, fire release ninjutsu of this caliber! I never expected this from a Genin. This could be an S class ninjutsu." And Kakashi just substituted himself and went behind Sasuke, but Sasuke also substituted herself and turned into a log, and then and she didn't turn into a log, but then with the log she substituted herself, and Kakashi saw Naruto, so he was like, "Finally, you show yourself, huh?" And Naruto just didn't say anything, and he was like, "Wind style, wind scythe," and sharp air currents went quickly towards Kakashi, and Kakashi was able to dodge them in time, but Naruto said water style, water shockwave, and and Kakashi, jumped up and he was like, "Oh, that was close. I'll land on the water and attack him now." And as he was about to land on the water, Naruto said, "Lightning style, lightning stream," and then uh, a bunch of his lightning went inside the water and you know kind of electrified the water, and Kakashi was like, "Oh crap!" And then he just substituted himself. But then, like as he was substituting himself, Naruto was able to notice his speed, and he intercepted Kakashi, and he kicked him, and Kakashi went flying into the water shockwave with the lightning, and he got electrocuted. And he was stunned for a few seconds, and this gave Naruto the time to get the bells. And Kakashi was like, he got up and he was like, he looked at Naruto with like interest, and he was like, "Well, I guess you got the bells, Naruto. Who are you going to give them to? Who are you going to give the other one to?" And then Naruto just threw both bells, and he threw one to Sasuke and one to Menma. And Kakashi was like surprised, and he was like, "Don't you want to pass, Naruto?" And Naruto was like, "I already know what this test is about, Kakashi Sensei. It's about teamwork. It's about seeing past your deception, seeing past, you know, the fact that one of us wasn't going to pass, at least like according to your lie. It's about prioritizing your team instead of yourself, and it's about like not having an ego and you know and teaming up with your teammates to against a stronger opponent." And Kakashi was like, a great observation, Naruto. You're the first Genin who has managed to see through my test." And he was like, "You all pass. From tomorrow, your missions start." And then, you know, Kakashi went to report everything that happened to Minato. So he was like, "Sensei, the team that you gave me is amazing." And Minato was like, "Ah, Menma is that good, huh? Menma has impressed you, huh?" And Kakashi was like, "It's not Menma I'm talking about. It's Naruto and Sasuke." And Minato was like, "What? How did they manage to outshine my son?" And Kakashi was like, "Isn't Naruto also your son?" And Minato was like, "No, that little demon, I don't even consider him as my son." And Kakashi was like, "Well, right now he is way stronger than Menma, and even Sasuke. And Sasuke is stronger than Menma as well. Menma hasn't really impressed me at all." And Minato was like, but that's impossible. How dare you say that to me?" And Kakashi was like, uh, "I didn't think you'd show favoritism, Sensei, since you're the Hokage. But uh, it's the truth, and you have to accept it. It's just my honest report, and I'm not one of the sheep. I'm not a sheep like one of those academy teachers or other ninjas who have been giving you fake information about Naruto." And Minato was like shocked at this, and he wanted to punch Kakashi, but then he knew that Kakashi was right. So, and he was the Hokage, so he had to be like, um, well mannered and shit. So he stood down, and he was like, anyways, call your team here so I can give them their ninja licenses. And Kakashi called them, uh, and then Minato gave Sasuke and Menma their ninja licenses without any problem. And Minato was like, Kakashi, could you please leave my office? I want to talk to Naruto in private. And Kakashi was like, sure, Sensei. And Minato, like when Kakashi left, Minato was like, you little brat, why don't you just come back to our house and continue doing our housework like a good demon. You don't deserve to become a shinobi. And Naruto's like, no, I think I'd be comfortable living away from you guys. Anyways, it was you who kicked me out, and if you regret that now, it's no use. I'm not coming back. And Minato was like, how dare you, you little brat. We are the reason why you even exist. And Naruto was like, I don't care about that, but then you clearly never intended for me to exist, anyways. So just because you're the ones who brought me into this world doesn't mean you're the ones who get to treat me as your plaything. And then Minato, got angry and he was like, "That's it. You're not becoming a ninja of the Hidden Leaf." And at this point, Danzo walked in and he was like, "Minato, I have to speak to you in private." And Minato was like, he glared at Naruto and he walked with Danzo. And Danzo told him, I think it's best that we treat that we treat the Jinchuriki better. He is our village's weapon, and if he chooses to side with another village because of how he's being mistreated, the leaf will not be the strongest anymore. And Minato was like, fine, I'll let him become a ninja. And Danzo was like, good. And Minato left, and he gave Naruto his ninja license, and he's like, you're lucky, little brat, that someone gave me a reason uh, for me to make you a shinobi. And at this point, Konohamaru came running in, and with his wooden kunai, and he was like, "I'm gonna defeat you and become the fifth Hokage." And Minato just looked at him like, was like, really, like, you think you can do anything to me? And Konohamaru just tripped over his own feet and he rolled until he was at Naruto's feet. And uh, Ebisu came and he was like, Honorable grandson, what are you doing on the floor? And Naruto was like, Honorable grandson. I guess he's related to one of the Hokages. Probably the third, seeing that he's you know around the age of a grandfather of a boy this young. And then uh, and Konohamaru stood up and he was like, "You, how dare you trip me? I was going to defeat the fourth Hokage and become the fifth Hokage." And Naruto was like, "Kid, don't point fingers at me. It was you who made the mistake uh, of trying to attack the Hokage, and you even lack the common sense uh, to throw a proper attack, and you fell over your own feet." And Konohamaru was like, "That's not true. You tripped me. You messed up my entrance." And Naruto was like, "Your entrance was already pretty messed up to begin with." And Konohamaru got angry and tried to punch Naruto, but Naruto grabbed him by the scruff of the neck, and he was like, "Why are you trying to attack me? I didn't do anything to you." And Konohamaru was like, let me go. I'm the honorable grandson. You can't harm me." And Naruto was like, "I don't care who you are. I just expect people to treat others with respect, and just because you're someone's grandson, or you yourself are somebody famous or anything like that, doesn't give you the right to treat other people with disrespect." and he just threw Konohamaru against the wall, and Konohamaru rubbed his back as he got up, and Naruto left the room, and Ebisu was like, "Honorable grandson, are you alright? You shouldn't let riffraff like that demon boy mess you up like that." And Konohamaru was like, "Why are they calling this kid a demon?" Like he was just thinking, and then Ebisu was just muttering to himself, "Oh, what Lord Third say? What would Lord Fourth say?" And all that. Like seeing that the honorable grandson has, made contact with the demon, and Minato, like he noticed him muttering, and he was like, "Ebisu, your student has already left." And Ebisu was like, "What? What? Honorable grandson, where are you?" And then, Minato was like, "He probably went against the demon of a son that I have." And then Ebisu was like, "No, he can't be getting involved with that riffraff." And he ran out of the office, and Minato just chuckled, and he was like, "I hope that demon gets a good beating." And so like Naruto, we moved to Naruto, who is walking to the forest where he trains, and then there's a box following him, and then Naruto knew exactly who it was, and but he just kept walking, and when he reached the forest, someone removed the box from the ground, and underneath was a little brown-haired kid, and Naruto was like, "What are you doing here?" And Konohamaru was like, I want you to train me. And Naruto was like, "What gives you the idea that I'm willing to train you?" And Konohamaru was like, "Please, please train me." And then Naruto was like, "But don't you already have a teacher of your own?" And Konohamaru was like, "That teacher is just a snobby, snot-nosed teacher, and he just teaches me a bunch of theory, saying that it'll be a shortcut to make me Hokage one day. He never teaches me any actual skills, shinobi skills." And Naruto was like, "Kid, there's no shortcut to becoming a shinobi legendary as a Hokage. You have to work for it. Just because a snobby teacher tells you that he can help you, doesn't mean that you can." And Konohamaru was like, but," and Naruto was like, "No buts. Is Ebisu a Hokage?" And Konohamaru was like, "No." And Naruto was like, "Has Ebisu ever been a Hokage or any other Kage?" And Konami was like, "No, but," and Naruto was like, I told you not to interrupt. If Ebisu doesn't have the experience of being a Kage himself, how will he help you become a Hokage? How does he know that what it would take?" And Konohamaru was like, "How will you help me then?" And Naruto was like, "I said I'll train you, but I never said anything about helping you become Hokage." And Konohamaru was like, "Yeah, that's a fair point." And Naruto was like, "Why do you want to be Hokage anyways?" And Konohamaru told his entire story about how um, people would always keep calling him honorable grandson and never even recognize him by his own name, and he wanted to be known as Konohamaru Sarutobi and not the honorable grandson, and he wanted to make a name for himself basically. So Naruto was like, becoming Hokage is not the only way you can do that. You can also do that by becoming a legendary shinobi. Have you heard of the legendary Sanin? Have you heard of Kakashi of the Sharingan? Have you heard of Konoha's mighty green beast, might guy? And Konami was like, "Yes, I've heard about all of these." And Naruto was like, "Are any of them Hokage?" No, all of them have become so strong and earned such a name all over the shinobi world that they're feared by multiple countries, and they're respected by multiple countries. Everyone know them by their own name and not by the name of their parents. Kakashi's, for example, Kakashi Hatake's father, Sakumo Hatake, was such a strong shinobi that he was on the level of the three Sanin. But Kakashi managed to surpass him and make a name for himself as Kakashi of the Sharingan. And he didn't have to become a Hokage to do that. And Konohamaru was like, wow, you have a point. And Konohamaru was like, but isn't Hokage better known than all of them? And Naruto was like, yes, he is, but the thing is, the being the Hokage is a desk job. You'll never have any action. All you'll do is help the civilians in the village, and you know help with the village logistics. You won't really be doing anything as a shinobi. Once you become a Hokage, your life as a shinobi is as good as over. And Konohamaru was like, oh, then I guess I have to become a legendary shinobi. And Naruto was like, yeah, that's the spirit. uh, Being the Hokage is for someone who is strong, but is willing to live the rest of their lives sitting behind a desk and doing paperwork. Your fighting skills will also become rusty, and won't be able to face stronger foes when the village is attacked. And then Konohamaru was like, wow, Big Brother Naruto, you're so intelligent. And Naruto's like, Big Brother, huh? I like the sound of that. And he was like, alright, Konohamaru, I'll train you. And Konohamaru's like, alright, Big Brother Naruto, what will we learn first? But before Naruto could say anything, Ebisu came up and he was like, you demon, how dare you kidnap the honorable grandson? And Naruto was like, I didn't kidnap him, he came to me of his own will. And Ebisu was like, as though I'll believe you, you demon. And Konohamaru was like, it's true, Ebisu sensei, I was the one who came up to him. And Ebisu was like, honorable grandson, how could you do this? How could you associate with someone like that? And Konohamaru was like, but Big Brother Naruto is actually very smart, he's very strong. And Ebisu was like, no matter how strong he is, I'm an elite Jonin, I can defeat him. Only I am worthy enough to be your teacher, honorable grandson. And Konam was like, no, I want Big Brother Naruto to be my teacher. And you know, Ebisu was like, how dare you brainwash the honorable grandson? And Naruto was like, I didn't brainwash him. And Ebisu just went to attack Naruto, but Naruto just you know kicked him back and placed a seal on him to seal away his movement, and he sealed him inside a scroll. So uh, Naruto was like, "All right, now that we have him out of the way, I'm going to teach. I'm going to teach you some ninjutsu." And Konohamaru was like, "Wow, that's so cool." And Naruto was like, "Do you know how to manipulate chakra yet?" And Konohamaru was like, "Yes, I learned a little bit of chakra control." And Naruto was like, can you walk on a tree? Uh, and then Konami was like, yeah, Ebisu sensei taught me how to. And Naruto was like, looks like Ebisu hasn't taught you, um like, at least taught you something. And Konohamaru, like, walked up the tree. And Naruto was like, alright, so this means your chakra control is good enough to do ninjutsu. Do you know what chakra nature you have? And Konohamaru was like, no. And Naruto was like, what's your name? And Konohamaru was like, Konohamaru Sarutobi. And Naruto was like, you're Sarutobi. So that means that you must be having fire release. But just to double check, I have a few chakra papers in my ninja pouch. So so you pass your chakra through one of them, and I'll tell you what your chakra is. And he gave Konohamaru one of the chakra papers, and Konohamaru passes chakra through it, and the paper started burning. Konohamaru dropped it, and he was like, "What is? Why did you trick me?" And Naruto was like, "Don't worry, relax. I didn't trick you. That just tells me that your chakra nature is fire." And Konohamaru was like, "Wow, I have fire release." And Naruto was like, "Yes, all the like most Sarutobis, you have fire release as your uh, as your main chakra nature. You may unlock more as we continue training." And Konohamaru was like, "Wow, can you teach me a new jutsu?" And Naruto was like, sure. We'll start simple. I'm gonna teach you the fireball jutsu. And Konohamaru was like, wow, the fireball jutsu? And Naruto was like, yes, see, look closely, these are the hand signs. He demonstrated it for Konohamaru and he blew out a huge fireball. And Konohamaru was like, wow, that's so cool. And Naruto was like, remember, only use these moves when you're in danger. Don't use them when you're sparring with your friends. And Konohamaru was like, yes, big brother Naruto. And he tried it, and a tiny amount of fire came out of his mouth. And Naruto was like, hmm, it's nice that you're actually able to manifest your chakra as fire, but you need a lot more practice. And Konami was like, I will practice every day, big brother Naruto. And Naruto smiled at him and he unsealed Ebisu's body and he left. And Ebisu wasn't dead, I'm just saying. Ebisu was still alive and he got up and he was like, what did that demon do to me? And Konami was like, he did nothing to you, Ebisu sensei. And he was like, honorable grandson, I'm happy you're all right. Let's go. I have some things to teach you. And Konami was like, no, Abisu sensei, I'm going to train with Naruto, with big brother Naruto from now on. And Abisu was like, that demon, how can you do that? And then Konohamaru just left without Abisu like being able to react. So um, you know uh, Ebisu was just like, oh no, what will the Hokage think? What will the third Hokage think? How am I going to explain this and all that? But then, you know, and then Minato was like looking in his crystal ball, like that he has access to as he's Hokage, and he was like, oh, that demon. He has brainwashed Lord Third's grandson, and he was like, but it looks like he's not harming him, so I guess I can let it wait. And he just went back to doing his business. So during the time when Naruto and his team were doing D rank missions, Naruto started growing bored of living in the Uchiha household with Sasuke. So he was like, Sasuke, I want to leave and go back to where I used to live. Um, and then Sasuke was like, but why don't you enjoy being living with me? And Naruto was like, of course I like living with you, but uh, it's more interesting in the forest of death. If you want, you can come with me. And Sasuke was like, the forest of death. I guess I'm strong enough to go there by now. And Naruto was like, oh, trust me, you are. And Sasuke was like, all right, then I'll go to the forest of death with you. And Naruto was like, all right, and they went and you know Naruto promised Sasuke that he would train her every day, in her fire release, and you know so basically they're doing that. So and also they started catching feelings for each other, so they started hanging out a lot more. And so a month passed like this, and Naruto um, Naruto's team was getting tired of the D rank missions, but this time it was Menma who actually lost his patience. And when they went together next mission, Menma shouted, he was like, "Dad, give me a higher rank mission." And then Minato was like, "I'm sure that you can handle a higher rank mission, but unfortunately, I don't believe your team can." Kakashi was like, quite the contrary, Sensei. It's actually Menma who's the weakest in the team right now. Naruto and Sasuke are highly equipped shinobi and they can take on C rank missions. And but Menma, he's on his way, but he's not quite there yet. And Minato was like kind of in denial because he himself trained Menma and he expected Menma to be ready by now, but you know he just said, "That's fine. I'm still giving you guys a C rank mission." And he turned to the you know uh, a little doorway, and he was like, "Tazuna, you can come in now." And Tazuna came in and he looked at all of them, and they all smelled the stench of the alcohol. And Tazuna was like, "What are these little brats going to do? How are they going to protect me? They don't even look like they can protect themselves." And Sasuke got kind of pissed, but then Naruto put his hand on her shoulder and calmed her down. And Menma, he got really pissed and he was like about to attack Tazuna. And Naruto just caught his fist and he was like, "Menma, he's our client. You can't attack him." And so Menma growls at Naruto and tries to attack him, but Naruto catches his fist again. And Minato's like, "Menma, stop losing your cool. Yeah, even though your brother is a demon and he has no right to tell you about this, he's right. Tazuna is your client and you can't attack him." And Menma was like, "Whatever," and then he kept his mouth shut. So. Uh, Tazuna, saw Naruto do this, and he started like respecting Naruto a little bit, and he was like, this kid actually looks like he might be powerful." Uh, so then he felt a little bit more reassured seeing that Kakashi and Naruto were there. So he explained the mission to them, and he was like, "I am the bridge builder in the land of waves. It's a very poor country since it has been ravaged by Gato and his businessmen. I want to no, actually he doesn't tell them about Gato. Sorry guys." He's like, "It's a very poor country, so I want to build a bridge and um, you know um, connect it to the mainland so that." So that trade can be better, better between the land of waves and the other countries, and make the land of waves a wealthy country again. So Kakashi was like, "All right, so we just have to escort you and protect you from bandits and thieves, right?" And then Tazuna said yes, and and Kakashi was like, "All right, team, meet me tomorrow at the gate at 7 a.m. sharp." And Razuna was like, "All right, 7 a.m. we start." And then you know, Naruto and Sasuke knew that Kakashi would be on time this time because it's an actual mission. So they went there at 7 a.m. straight. Sorry, at 7 a.m. sharp. And this time Menma was actually 2 hours late, and he came at 9 a.m. to see all of them waiting for him. And he was like, "Come on, I was late." And Kakashi was like, "You're 2 hours late, Menma. I told you to assemble here at 7 a.m." And Menma was like, "How can I never get his timing right? Naruto and Sasuke are always the ones who come on time, on the same time as him." And Kakashi was like, "I don't have the time to argue with you now. Let's go start the mission." And they left out of the village, and they were on their way um, through the forest. And so basically, as they're walking, um, Sasuke was actually asking Kakashi questions like, "Doesn't the land of waves have any shinobi?" And Kakashi was like, "No, only the five great nations and a few smaller nations have shinobi. The land of waves is a very secluded island, and uh, it has only civilians." And Sasuke nodded, and they went on and continued their journey. They encountered like small bandits along the way, but not much else. And until they saw a puddle. So Naruto, Kakashi, and Sasuke all notice a puddle, and they're wondering, hmm, in this dry weather, how is there a puddle right there? Um, like even if it fell by accident, it would have evaporated by now due to this heat. And they realize it must be a something to substitute with, like uh, the like people would perform a substitution and switch places with it. So basically, uh, Naruto said, Sasuke, use that jutsu I taught you. And Sasuke knew what Naruto was talking about, and she was like, fire style, celestial flames, as white hot flames came out of her hands and hit the water puddle. And they had like yellow tips on them, like it was basically like white hot flames. So then they literally like incinerated the puddle, but before the puddle could completely disappear, the Chunins completed substitution and they got kind of burnt while doing this. So then they're like, oh, and but they just attacked. And like Naruto was like, Sasuke, this is like a test for you. And Sasuke was like, all right, Naruto, I'll prove that I'm strong. And Sasuke just obliterated the legendary Chunin, so-called legendary. And so basically, one of the Chunins, they swung their sword at her, and Sasuke just ducked and said, "Lightning style, lightning stream," and she electrocuted that one and made him pass out. And the other one went with his chain, like with the kunai attached, and he tried to attack Sasuke, but Sasuke just caught the chain and yanked the Chunin and slammed him on the ground and knocked him out. And she then tied them both up to a tree. And Naruto's like, very good. Looks like our training is paying off. And Sasuke smiled at him. And Naruto went up to the Chunin, and by this time they regained consciousness. And he was like, "What are you two doing here? Who are you after? Who sent you?" And the Chunin were like, as though we tell you, we're the legendary Chunin, the Demon Brothers. And Naruto was like, Demon Brothers. I like that name, but what kind of idiot would give such a title to Chunin? You're not even Jonin yet, and you got the title Legendary Chunin. And how can you still call yourself legendary when you got bodied by a Genin? And the Chunin got angry, and Naruto said, "But anyways, that's not the matter. You didn't answer my question. If you don't," and he basically jabbed two fingers at their necks, and then they got scared. So they're like, "We're after Tazuna. We are sent by a man called Gato, and we want to prevent Tazuna from building the bridge." And Naruto was like, "Thank you for the information, but I guess I'm going to kill you anyways. You might become a problem in the future. So it's not personal, but." And before he could finish his sentence, he you know ran chakra through his fingers, and he just slit both of their throats. And Menma was like horrified seeing this because he had never seen someone killing another person before. So he was like, "You demon, how could you kill someone?" And Kakashi was like, "Watch your tongue, Menma. Naruto did the right thing. Sometimes you'll be faced with such choices on missions. You'll have to kill people. That's the way of the shinobi. Get used to it." And Menma, I was like, "Damn it, Naruto gets all the glory." And so then Naruto, he so basically Naruto was like, all done, Kakashi, Kakashi sensei. And Kakashi was like, "One second, Naruto, before we continue." And he called Tazuna and he was like, "Why did you lie to us about the mission, the rank of this mission?" And Tazuna was like, "What do you mean?" And Kakashi was like, "Don't take me for a fool. I know that C rank missions only are only for only take people like bandits and robbers into account and not actual trained shinobi. And and Tazna was like, okay, okay, I'm sorry, but since the Land of Waves is such a poor country, I wasn't sent with enough money to afford a higher rank mission. And Kakashi was like, it seems I guess we'll all have to turn back now. And so then Tazuna was like, no, please don't. And Kakashi was like, Tazuna was like, I'll give you more money from, after I finish the bridge and the Land of Waves get more money. And Kakashi was like, it's not about the money we're concerned about. The skill of of my team is not up to the level where they can go on a mission such as this. This is a B, or it might even go to an A rank mission. And then Tazuna was, he looked down dejectedly, and uh, Kakashi and Naruto said, Kakashi Sensei, I think we should continue the mission. Just send a request for backup, uh, and we should continue uh, because the Land of Waves is like according to what Tazna said the Land of Waves isn't a good place right now. I believe that we should. I believe that we should have some honor and try to protect Tazuna. And and Kakashi was like, yes, but, and Naruto was like, but nothing. We are if it's a skill that you are worried about. Um, Sasuke actually took out two Chunin brothers who are actually among the higher, echelons of the Chunin, of all the Chunins. They even had the title Legendary Chunins. I don't even know why they would get such a title, but uh, if he had this, if Sasuke alone had this skill to take them out, if any Jonin come up, I believe that with you, me, and Sasuke, we'd be able to take them out. And Menma was like, don't forget about me. And Naruto's like, no offense, Menma, but I don't really think that you are up there at our level yet. And Menma was like, shut up, you little demon. And Naruto was like, it seems you took that personally. I said no offense, but whatever. But and then uh, Kakashi just chuckled, and he decided to continue with the mission. So uh, like they went in that little boat, and they reached Land of Waves. And you know Naruto was like, there's something wrong with this mist. I can sense chakra in it. And Kakashi was like, the hidden mist jutsu. I've heard of this before. And as they got out, they were like on guard. And Naruto heard the rustling in the bushes, and he threw a kunai that was enhanced with wind release chakra into the bush. And you know uh, and as they went to check what the kunai hit, there was a white rabbit that was pinned to a tree pretty much, uh, like by its skin. So Menma was like, how dare you, you demon, how dare you hurt this harmless creature. And Naruto was like, don't you notice? This is not a rabbit that should be white during the season. This rabbit should actually be brown in this season. This shows that this rabbit was caged, and it wasn't. It's not a wild rabbit. And Naruto was like, I think that the person who was actually here substituted himself for that rabbit. And Kakashi was like, excellent observation, Naruto. You are highly skilled. And then Naruto was like, thank you, Kakashi Sensei. But then there's something coming our way, so I think we should all duck. And Kakashi was like, how can you tell us that casually? sorry, Menma was like, "How can you tell us that casually?" And he like all of them ducked, and but Naruto, he was able to sense the sword and he caught it by its handle. And Zabuza, you know, actually just landed on a branch of the tree, and he was like, "Kid, return my sword." And Naruto was like, "This is a nice toy you have." And Zabuza was like, "That's the executioner's blade. How dare you call it that?" And Naruto was like, "Well, anyways, since you tossed it to me, I guess I can keep it now." And Zabuza, was like, "No, that's not how it works. Give it back." And then Naruto was like, "Try me." And Kakashi was like, "You three, stay out of this. This is a Jonin, Zabuza Momochi, the demon of the mist." And you know, Menma was like, "Oh, looks like there's another demon." And Naruto was like, "This is not the time for this, Menma. Shut up." And Menma, just like kept quiet as he sensed Zabuza's killing intent, and that actually kind of brought him to his knees. And you know, Zabuza actually did the hidden mist jutsu again, and he made the mist thicker, and they couldn't even see him. But Naruto could sense him. So Sasuke was next to Naruto, and Naruto was like, and Sasuke was like scared, and Naruto was like, "Don't worry, Sasuke, I can sense chakra." And Sasuke got like reassured, and Menma was like out of his wits right now because like Zabuza's killing intent was dispersed throughout the mist, and they could feel all of it, and Menba was like on his knees, and Zabuza, he was about to, go there, and Kakashi was like, "You guys be careful. He's known as a silent killer." And Naruto was like, when I have his toy, I don't believe that he'd be that much of a problem." And Zabuza was like, "What did you say, kid?" And Naruto was like, "You heard me. And since I heard you, I know where you are." And he basically, threw a kunai in Zabuza's direction, and Zabuza just dodged in time, and you know, um, and he was like, "You missed, kid," and Naruto was like, whatever." And Kakashi was like, "Naruto, I told you guys to stay out of it." And Naruto was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And Kakashi like started fighting Zabuza, and Kakashi was about to mess up, and Naruto was able to sense Zabuza's chakra in the water, and Naruto was like, "No, Kakashi Sensei, why did you go there?" And you know, because Kakashi was like hiding in the water, and you know, uh, Zabuza came up to him and put him in a water prison. And Naruto was like, "All right, Sasuke, I think it's our turn." And Menma was like, "No, I won't let you steal the glory this time." And he ran up to Zabuza, but Zabuza just punched him, and he went back and landed on his butt. And Menma turned to Sasuke, and he was like, "Forgive my foolish brother." And Sasuke laughed, and Menma was like, "How dare you degrade me like that, you demon?" And Naruto was like, "No offense, Menma, but you have a long way to go." And he ran up to Zabuza, and he said, "Lightning style, lightning arc," and um concentrated lightning arc towards Zabuza, and uh, Zabuza, he had to dodge because like he didn't have anything to deflect the lightning with, and he didn't like um, have any jutsu to counter it. So uh, he jumped out of the way, and Kakashi was freed. And Naruto and Sasuke started fighting Zabuza, and Sasuke was like, "Fire style, plasma," and like a white hot blob came out of her mouth, and um, it was like yellow on the edges, and it flew towards Zabuza like a homing missile. And Zabuza was like, "How are these Genin? They learn such complicated jutsus. This is probably this is probably an S rank jutsu, and you know, Sasuke, the Zabuza had to use water to counter it, but the water evaporated, and Zabuza was like, "What? How?" And he used like a huge water style jutsu, like after gathering some distance, and he said, "Water style, water shockwave," and all of this water evaporated, but then the plasma ball was gone, and Zabuza was like, "Oh, that took a lot out of me," and Kakashi was like, "Thank you, Naruto and Sasuke. I'll take it from here." And Naruto's like, "Don't slip up again." And Kakashi was like, not planning on it. And then, he got his Sharingan out again. And yeah, by the way, Sasuke still had like, same question. How did Kakashi get the Sharingan? And Naruto was like, let's ask him later. This is not the time now. And you know, Kakashi still like uh, ended the fight the same way, and Zabuza they made their water dragons and they cancelled each other out, and Kakashi uh, did Zabuza's move before he could, and he said. I think it was something like swirling vortex or something. So it was like water style swirling vortex, and then like you know, Zabuza got slammed against a tree, and he was like, Kakashi threw four shuriken to pin his hands and feet. So he was like, now can you see the future? And Kakashi was like, yes, and I see your death. And a few pins, a few senbon went and pierced Zabuza's throat. And, you know, this was Haku, and Naruto saw Haku, and he was like, so he finally decided to come out. And Haku was like surprised that Naruto sensed him, and he was like, "You were able to notice I was there." And Naruto was like, "Yeah, it seems you need a little bit more work in hiding your presence. I was able to sense you clear as day." And Haku was like, "Oh, anyways, I am a tracker ninja for the hidden mist, and I've been trying to kill Zabuza for a while now. And thank you for making my job easy." And Kakashi said, checked Zabuza's pulse and it wasn't there. So Kakashi was like, "You're welcome." And Naruto's like, "Wait." Uh, like, as Haku was about to take Zabuza away, Naruto was like, "Wait. Aren't Anbu supposed to dispose of the bodies here on the site itself?" And Haku was like, "No, since Zabuza has many secrets, the the hidden mist wants to find them out themselves." And then uh, Naruto is like, "But if you're really an Anbu of the hidden mist, no matter who it is, you dispose them off there because they may be weaponized. Their bodies may be weaponized in order to set up traps." And Haku like knew he had been found, and he just tried to evade, but Naruto was like, I know that you are a fake. Take off that mask." And Haku, tried to run away, but Naruto caught him, and uh, pinned him to the ground. And Haku uh, was like, "You can kill me if you want, but please don't kill Zabuza." And Naruto was like, "Oh, so you aren't an Anbu after all, and Zabuza isn't dead after all." And Kakashi was shocked that Naruto noticed this without him being able to. And you know Naruto uh, and Naruto was like, sorry, Haku was like, "Yeah, yeah, Zabuza is my precious person. I'm sure you must also have one, but I care about Zabuza, and I could give my life for him." And Naruto was like, "Fine, we'll make you a deal. Once once your friend Zabuza wakes up, tell him to join the Leaf and become a Leaf Shinobi, and I will also help you convince him. If he doesn't, I'll kill both of you." and Haku's like knew that this was the best he could get out of them, and he nodded gratefully. And they set up camp, and when Zabuza finally woke up, he was still like kind of incapacitated, so he couldn't really attack. So when he saw Haku sitting with them, and he was like, "You tool, what are you doing? Attack them!" And Haku was like, "Zabuza, they're way out of our league. They said that they would allow both of us to live if we became Leaf Shinobi." And Zabuza was like, "I'd rather die." And Naruto was getting pissed at this, and he was like, "Zabuza, don't you know how much Haku cares for you? And you treat him like a tool, and you're the one who has been making his life a living hell. He has told us his story. He doesn't like the things that you do, but since he cares about you so much, he still does them. He would die for you, and you still would continue living the life that you are living right now." And this got to Zabuza, and made him have his change in heart. And Zabos was like, "All right, I'll come with you, but only as long as Haku can come along too." And Naruto's like, "Yes, that's what I said." And Zabos was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I believe I missed a little bit of what you said because of my delirious state." And Naruto was like, "That's okay. Uh, like once we are done escorting Tazuna back, we will take you to back to the village." And Zabuza like nodded gratefully, and Kakashi was was like, Naruto can become a great leader one day, the way he changes people. And Zabuza was like, sorry, and Menma was kind of jealous, like he was really jealous, and he was like, "Oh, this demon, how could he do this?" And uh, Naruto just like was like they all just ran along, and continued escorting Tazuna, and Haku and Zabuza were still resting at their camp, and they promised that they'd be back for them. So the rest of the mission goes pretty much the same. Like they take refuge in Tazuna's house, and Naruto still meets Inari, and Inari is like, "You shinobi are going to die. Gato is going to kill you." And Naruto is like, "Don't worry. Gato has already lost his trump card. He can't win." And Inari was like, "Don't you see? No matter what you do, Gato is going to kill you, just as he killed him." And Naruto was like, "Hmm." And he talked to Inari, and he got to know all of his history, like with his dad and shit. So he was like, but then it's Shinobi's duty to protect people, and no matter what you say, I can't let this mission go. It's my duty as a shinobi to see it through, and I believe that me and my team will be able to take care of Gato." And Inari, like he like inspired Inari, and he was like, uh, and like if and since we are a strong shinobi, we can protect the people that we love, and all of that shit. And then Inari was like enamored by Naruto, and he was like, I wish I can become a shinobi too someday." And Naruto was like, I'll teach you a little bit during the time that I stay here until Tazuna completes the bridge, and completes making the bridge." And Inari was really thankful for Naruto, and a week later, as Tazuna was building the bridge, um, Naruto woke up to hear Inari and his mother start screaming, and Naruto went and saw that Inari's mother was tied up by two men, and Inari was trying to fend them off, and uh, like since Naruto taught him a little bit, he was able to use kunai and slice one of the men, but he was still too weak. So the men was like, "Ah, you've really done it this time, kid. I'll kill you now." So Naruto was like, I don't think that's gonna happen," and he waved a few hand signs and said, "Fire style, fireball jutsu," and then he shot like a concentrated fire stream, and it kind of balled up on the end so that it doesn't destroy the whole house. So basically it's kind of like a fire stream. And Naruto was like, maybe I have to change the name of this kind of fireball. And so anyways, this like incinerated both of them. And yeah, Naruto was like, I'm sorry you had to see that, Inari, but this is the truth of the shinobi world. uh, Sometimes you have to kill people. And Naruto was like, no, it's okay. I'm happy you saved me and my mother. And Naruto was like, go to the village and stay there, and you'll remain safe. I'll go and handle everything else. I My team and I will handle everything else. And Inari listened, and Naruto made a shadow clone to escort him and his mother to a safe place. So Naruto just body flickered to the bridge, and he saw, uh, you know, uh, Gato's men over there, and Gato recruited some random Chunin and Jonin to help as well. So those people were in battle with Kakashi, as Gato sent his men after Tazuna. So Tazuna was like standing like really scared, and Menma was actually guarding Tazuna. So Naruto just body flickered and said, "Fire style." Great Phoenix Flower Jutsu, as hundreds of little fireballs rained from the air as Naruto jumped up and blew them from his mouth, and they hit all of the people except for Gato, and Gato died, and all of them died. And Naruto went up to Gato, and he asked Tazuna whether it would be okay for him to kill Gato, or whether the village wants to have revenge on Gato. And Tazuna said that he wants the village to have revenge on Gato. So he picked up Gato, and Gato was like, "No, no, please, I'll do anything. Just don't kill me. I'll pay you. I'll give you all my money." And Naruto's like, even if I was willing to accept that, I wouldn't trust a little midget like you, and a lying little midget like you. And then Gato just struggled to get out of Naruto's grasp, and Naruto just threw him like a basketball to, you know, to Tazuna, and then and like all the villagers were also there, like with Tazuna. So Tazuna like threw him into the villagers, and he was like, make sure his death is as painful as possible. And guys, I'm going to and you can skip a bit forward. I don't know whether I'm going to put a timestamp or not, but it's going to get a bit gruesome here, like the details. So basically like this is just to warn you. So I'm starting the gruesome bit. So the villagers, they cut off each of Gato's fingers and toes, and they also cut off all of his extremities, including the what for a guy. So yeah, Gato was like in ridiculous pain, and they also cut off his nose and his ears, and they so basically, like, before they cut off his fingers, they chipped off his nails, like his fingers and toes. They chipped off his nails, like with with tools, so that they would just snap them off. And Gato's like screaming in pain right now, and they literally used a needle and thread to sew his mouth shut, and they yanked it so the string would cut further into Gato's lips, and they poked his eyes with knives, and you know made several incisions in his body, and after that they cut off his arms and his legs, and then afterwards they on Gato's forehead they etched with a knife saying, um, uh, the land of waves revenge, and then they chopped off Gato's head and they stuck it on a pike, and yeah, so yeah, it's pretty gruesome. And so basically, after that, uh, Tazuna thanked Team Seven, and he decided to name the bridge the Great Team Seven Bridge, because it is all of Team Seven who helped. I don't know why he called it the Great Naruto Bridge in that. I guess it was because he changed Gato's minds and sorry, Tazuna, Zabuza's and Haku's minds and all that shit. So, but anyways, since that didn't happen this time, he calls it the Great Team Seven Bridge. So, in honor of the ninjas who saved them. So basically, they're all happy, and they go back and they find Zabuza and Haku, and by this time Zabuza's all healed. So basically, they take Zabuza and Haku and they go back. And Naruto told Kakashi to tell Minato what happened with Zabuza and Haku, because he knew that Minato wouldn't trust his judgment. And Kakashi was like, all right, I got you. Like, no, he didn't say that, but he was like, all right, I understand. And then Naruto was like, thank you. And Menma was like, oh, I'll mess this guy's plan up. And Naruto was like, and Menma, if you dare try to mess this up and make two mess up the lives of two people, I'm going to come after you and kill you. And Menma, like, he got scared because he knew that Naruto could kill him, and but he was like, he had ego. He was like, you think that you can kill me, you little demon? And Naruto's like, with ease, but only if you mess up these two shinobi's lives. I don't care if you talk trash about me, but then if you take your anger for me out on these two people, I will not forgive you. And Menma, grew quiet, and he decided not to fuck with Naruto. So Kakashi just told Minato that uh, they found two shinobi who had who had been who were like rogue shinobi, but they wanted to turn over a new leaf basically. And Minato was like, huh, how ironic. They wanted to turn over a new leaf, so they came to the leaf village. So Kakashi just like chuckled, and um, um, it wasn't ironic. Like Minato was like, how you know what a coincidence, like you know what I mean. So anyways, like Minato's like, I have to I have to have someone spar against you to judge your ability. And Kakashi was like, I already got that covered, sensei. The Zabuza Momochi is a jonin, and Haku Yuki is a high tier chunin. And uh, Minato's like, wow, that's nice, Kakashi. I trust your judgment, so I'll give them these ranks. And then so Zabuza and Haku were given their ninja attire and all that shit, the headband and the ranks and all that shit. So yeah, so they became Leaf Shinobi, but they're still loyal to Naruto, because Naruto is one who saved them from from their dark path. So yeah, and so basically, after a week passed, after they got back into the village, uh, Naruto had actually been learning ice release from Haku, because since Naruto has all five chakra natures, since he's a reincarnation of Ashura, and Ashura gave him some of his chakra, he has all the Kekkei Genkai. So he saw, Haku using his ice release. So he was like, that's a pretty cool technique. Maybe I should learn that from him. So Naruto trained with Haku, like, to use his ice release and shit. So yeah, And by the way, Indra and Ashura were still training him and all that. But I won't really go into detail about the training because I'm pretty sure like it would be pretty like cool, like good training basically. Anyways, so while he was returning from his training with Haku, he noticed that Konohamaru was running around, and he bumped into a big guy from the Sand Village. So he was like, I guess the tuning exams are gonna happen soon. And because this guy looked like he was just a few years older than him. So Naruto was like, when Kankuro picked Konohamaru up, Naruto went up to him and he was like, put the kid down because he's a grandson of the third Hokage, and if you don't want to start a war, I think it's best you put him down. And Kankuro was like, I don't believe you. I think I'll have my fun with this kid. And guys, it's not that kind of fun. Kankuro is just gonna like beat him up a bit. So Naruto's like, I guess if you really want a challenge, you should pick on someone your own size. What are you trying to get out of bullying him? An ego boost? And Kankuro got angry at Naruto and he threw Konohamaru away. And Konohamaru got up and ran behind Naruto. And he was like, Big brother Naruto. And Naruto was like, It's okay, Konohamaru, I got this. And, you know, Kankuro got his puppet out and he tried to attack Naruto and with it, but Naruto just smashed the puppet and he was like, uh, I'm by pick someone your own size. I meant pick someone your own strength level, and Kankuro was like shocked and like devastated that his puppets were gone. That his puppet was gone, like his best puppet. So Naruto was like, and he was like, "How dare you destroy my puppet?" And he ran to attack Naruto, but Naruto just punched him in the gut, and Kankuro just flew back. And Naruto was like, "I don't have time for you." Anyways, the one in the trees can come out now. And Gara came out using his sand, and he basically dematerialized into sand, and he came down. And Naruto was like, that's a pretty cool technique. I should learn that. And Gara looked at Naruto, and he was like, yeah, you are a very interesting shinobi. And Naruto was like, so are you. Uh, I believe you're like me since you also have a tailed beast inside you. And Gara was like, how do you know? And Naruto was like, oh, I can just sense the chakra. But do you know that? And he was like, I believe that everyone in your village also calls you a demon, doesn't don't they? And Gara was like, yes, yes, but how do you know? And then Naruto was like, yeah, I could just sense Shukaku's chakra. And Gara was like, you know the name of our tailed beast? And Naruto was like, I know the names of all the tailed beasts. And Gara was like, all of them have names? And Naruto's like, yeah, you think your one tails is special? All the tail beasts have names given to them by the Sage of Six Paths. And Gara was like, I don't believe you. And so Naruto's like, that doesn't matter to me. Whether you believe me or not doesn't matter to me. And he was like, just one thing I will tell you. It's possible to make friends with your with the tail beast sealed inside you. You just have to treat it kindly and as you would treat someone else, like with manners, and you should treat them as though they have a soul too, because they all have the ability to think for themselves and they also have souls. They're not just weapons of mass destruction that villages can use. And Gara, like, he heard this and he was like, really, are you friends with your tail beast too? And Naruto was like, yes, I am. And he brought Gara into his mindscape, and Gara saw Kurama, behind the bars, and he was like, "But your tail piece isn't free like mine." And Naruto's like, "Yes, but that's only because I don't have the key to unlocking his cage. But we have an understanding. I will unlock him as soon as I get the key." And Gara looked up at Kurama, who just looked down at him with his red eyes. And Gara was like, "He doesn't look very friendly." And Naruto was like, "Try to talk to him. Don't judge someone by how they look." And Gara talked to Kurama, and Kurama was pretty nice to him. And Gara was like, "All right, I'll believe you. But what's your name? You haven't told me your name." And Naruto was like, "It's not polite to ask someone their name without offering yours first." And Gara was like, "You're right. My name is Gara, and I'm known as Gara of the Sand." And Naruto was like, yeah, I can see why, but uh, anyways, my name is Naruto Uzumaki." And Gara was like, "Hmm, I believe that you'll be an interesting opponent, Naruto, in the upcoming Chunin exams." And Naruto was like, so my theory was right. You guys are participating in the Chunin exams." And Gara was like, "Yes, we are." And and Shukaku was observing all of this, and he was like, "Oh my god, Kurama has actually made friends with his Jinchuriki. How is this possible?" And he was like, "That dumb Ninetales must have been, um, you know, um, enamored by his sweet way of talking. I guess I would have too if I was his Jinchuriki. Sorry, if he was my Jinchuriki." And from then on, Gara like started talking more to Shukaku and started like trying to befriend him. And Shukaku was actually like warming up to Gara, uh, uh, and uh, you know Garo's and he started like giving more of his power to Gara, like you know without making Gara go crazy. So yeah, so basically Shukaku so basically Gara like now his mental state was better, and Shukaku allowed him to sleep and all of that. And so Gara was like really thankful for Naruto telling him this. And when they once when they met again, Gara was like, Naruto, could you please be my friend?" And he had actually been working up the courage to ask Naruto this because um, he was too embarrassed to admit that he had no friends. And Naruto was like, "Yeah, sure, Gara. Don't worry. Don't be nervous. It took me very long as well to make friends." And Gara smiled as Naruto was so empathetic towards him. And Naruto and Gara. This is how Naruto and Gara became friends. And yeah, by the way, like the time when Naruto was talking to Gara, Temari was also there, and she was like, "Wow, what a strong genin! I believe that these tuning exams will be a real challenge for us to enact the plan." And Gara didn't know about the plan. Sorry, yeah, Gara actually knew about the plan, but since he was friends with Naruto, he was like really unwilling to go through with it. But then he knew that his loyalty to his village comes before his friendship with Naruto. So yeah, he was still going to go with it. So yeah, so then afterwards, like a week after this encounter, Kakashi told him about the Chunin exams. Naruto and his team. So Menma already knew because Minato told him at home, and Menma was like, "I already know about this. I was just wondering when you'd tell us." And Kakashi was like, "Well, you should know me by now." And Naruto was like, "Well, I already knew as well because I saw one of the other teams that came from another village." And Sasuke was like, "What? And you didn't tell me?" And Naruto was like, "Well, it was pretty irrelevant, so I didn't think it was important to tell you." And Sasuke just like punched Naruto in the arm. and Naruto just uh, uh, and Naruto just like shrugged it off and said, "I'm sorry. I'll tell you about stuff like this next time from next time." And Sasuke, she was like happy, and she just like put her arm around Naruto again. So Kakashi told them about the Chunin exams, and he gave them the forms, and he was like, "It's your choice whether you want to go to the Chunin exams or not. I want you to fill these out by next week and submit them at room 301." So basically, they all um, they all like fill up the forms and submit them, and uh, yeah, and then they're all ready for the Chunin exams. And yeah, and like during this time, Naruto also taught Konohamaru the Shadow Clone Jutsu, and he also taught him some more fire release ninjutsus, like the same way he does with Sasuke. So so in like during this time also, like Sasuke was like, I wonder if I have multiple chakra natures like how you do. And Naruto's like, you want to test out some some other jutsu, some simple jutsus from other chakra natures. And Sasuke was like, yeah, sure. And like when she tried to do a lightning one, a little spark of lightning actually came from her hands. So Naruto was like, wow, you have lightning as well. That's nice. And then he trained her in the lightning ninjutsu. So yeah, and using the lightning stream and all that. Uh, so yeah, and now they were all ready for the Chunin exams, and they gave their form and all that. So from the on in the next part of this what if, I am going to cover what happens during the Chunin exams. So yeah, last part for in the last what if, all of you wanted me to make longer parts, so that's what I'm doing. And since these are unscripted, I'm able to make the parts a lot longer. So I hope you're like happy with the way I'm carrying the series out so far. So if you like this video, give it a like and subscribe to my channel, and um, comment down your thoughts about this video, as well as any future what ifs you want me to do. And thanks for watching, guys.